to our Los Angeles English School YouTube channel. My name's Helen. If you don't know me, I'm head teacher here at Los Angeles English School. And if you haven't subscribed to this YouTube channel yet, make sure to hit the subscribe button and the bell icon so that you get notified of all our upcoming lessons and live streams. Thank you very much if you joined me, and I hope some more people will join us today. And today we're gonna be talking about future. Specifically, we will talk about will, because we can express future in many different ways. Probably if you're familiar with future, you can use present continuous for future, even present simple for future. But today we'll take a look at the usage of will. So just let me check a few moments. Just a second. All right, so according to the future, we have different time markers. So for example, if we talk about something that is going on at the moment, we talk about now. So for example, now I'm talking to you and I'm live streaming. Yesterday was Saturday, because today is Sunday. So yesterday, this is the time marker for the past simple. So what are the time markers for the future? And I have prepared this for you so that you can see it clearly. So we have time markers such as tomorrow, next week, next month, or next year, on Monday. So if you're talking about the next Monday, I mean future Monday. In 2 days, or in a moment, in 1 hour, in 3 minutes, soon, and right away, or now. For example, you can say, I'll do it right away, means immediately, now, especially if you promise to do something. Give me a moment, please, because I just don't see the live stream on my computer, and I will just switch it on for me so that I can see what's going on. I'm sorry for that. Yeah, now I see it. Sorry. All right, so these are the time markers that you need to use for future. Okay, so the next step that we are going to do with you is we will take a look how to make future. And also I'd like to pay attention to the pronunciation of contractions, because my students sometimes, maybe not sometimes, very often, they complain that they don't understand native speakers, especially when they speak quickly, or they don't understand English movies, or they sound not very natural. So in order to sound natural and in order to be able to understand native speakers, we have to use, but we should use contractions, because when native speakers speak quickly, they connect words together and their speech flows because of these connections, linking, and contractions. That's why during today's session, I would also like to focus on pronunciation to make your speech as natural as possible and to train your ear to be able to understand native speakers. So probably you know that for positive sentences, for future, you would use will for all subjects. So this is very good news. So you would say, I will, you will, we will, and so on. But let's practice contractions. So here you can see apostrophe and double L. This is how we contract will. And you can contract, sometimes they hear some people contracting will. Yeah, they do it normally, but there are, like, I chose for you today to practice the most common ways to contract well. And if you want to practice and you really want to sound natural, make sure that you don't just listen, but you also repeat these contractions and the sentences after me. All right, so let's start. So I will can sound like I'll, but it's not very common actually. So normally it will sound as all. For example, you say, sorry, I'm busy right now and I cannot talk to you, and I'll call you later. Sorry, I'm busy. I'll call you later. I'll call you later. I'll call you later. So you will becomes you'll. For example, you have kids and your son wants to go out, but it's very cold outside and you say, put on a hat or you'll get sick. You'll get sick. You'll get sick. So we will can sound like will, but normally it sounds just like will itself. So we will becomes will. So for example, you can say, don't worry, we don't need any help, thank you. We'll be just fine. We'll be just fine. We'll be just fine. No worries. So they will can become they'll, but most commonly it will become they'll. So for example, we are waiting for guests. They'll be here in a moment. They'll be here in a minute. They'll be here in a minute. They'll be here in a minute. So he will can become he'll, but most commonly it sounds like hill, like a little mountain, hill. And for example, you can say, I have a little son and on his next birthday, he'll be 5. He'll be 5. He'll be 5. She will can sound like she'll, but most commonly it sounds like she'll. For example, I want to buy her some flowers. I think she'll love it. Also notice that because we have here l sound and then we have one more l sound, you will blend them together and it will sound like she'll love it, she'll love it, she'll love it, she'll love it. And also we have stop T here, you don't release T, so she'll love it, she'll love it. All right, and for example, you see that your friend is really worried, maybe your friend is going to pass a very important exam and you say, no worries, it'll be all right. It'll be all right. By the way, I wrote all right in an informal way. You also can write it as all right? Both options are okay. So it will becomes it'll be all right. It'll be all right. So let's say this contractions one more time. All, you'll, will, though, he'll, she'll, it'll. All right, guys, so I hope that you like it. And now we're going to move on to negative sentences. So for negative sentences, let me just grab my negative sentences. Yeah, so for negative sentences, you would say will not, again, for all subjects, for all persons. So will not would be contracted as won't. Don't confuse, please, won't with want. For example, I want to sleep, because want has o sound, want, and won't has o diphthong sound, o, won't. And also we have here stop t. We don't release t. Won't. So I won't, you won't, and so on. So let's practice some sentences with won't. All right, so for example, you don't like the place, or you just don't want to go somewhere, and you can say, no, I really don't like this place. I won't go there. Oh no, thank you. I won't go there. I won't go there. I won't go there. So you have super exciting news, and you say to your friend, you won't believe it. It's fantastic. You won't believe it. You know, you won't believe it. You won't believe it. So the next one, so for example, you have a very important conference and you call somebody and you say, no worries, we won't be late. We won't be late. We won't be late. All right, the next one. So we are desperate and nobody want to help us. So they won't help us. So we should help ourselves. They won't help us. They won't help us. Don't ask. So the next one. So maybe you say, I have a friend and I'm just trying to make up some sentences. And you have a friend and maybe you offended him. And you can say, he won't be happy to see me. No, really, me, one E, sorry, me. Yeah, so you say, you know, I don't want to go and see him. I think he won't be happy to see me. He won't be happy to see me. He won't be happy to see me. All right, so don't ask her. She won't do this. She won't do this. She won't do this. Or, I don't think that it'll work. So it won't work. You know, it won't work. You also can say it won't work out. Don't try this. It it won't work out. It won't work out. So for all persons, you use won't. Won't. All right, so let's go on. So thinking about makeup. So, but I think it's better to focus on English rather than on somebody's makeup. So let's go on with questions. So if you want to make questions, you also use will for all persons. But we also will take a look at contractions. So instead of saying who will do this, you can say who'll. You can say who'll do this. Yeah, that's a great plan, but who'll do this? Instead of saying when will you come, you can say when'll. When will you come? When will you come? When will you come? All right. So I have some more examples with contractions in questions. So instead of saying where will, you can say where'll. So you want to go and live in that city, but it's very small. Where'll you work? Where'll you work? Think about it. Where'll you work? So how will becomes how'll. So for example, how will I do this? Sorry, I can't. How will I do this? You can say how'll. How'll I do this? How'll I do this? All right, so this is how you can make your speech more natural. Just make sure that you use these contractions while speaking. And actually, when we focus on contractions, we will be able to hear how native speakers talk, and you will be able to understand them better. So, and finally, I just want to make sure that you understand when we use will. So in general, of course, we are thinking about the future and we speak about the future. But there are also some tenses that can be used for future. Like, for example, you can say gonna, I'm gonna go, I'm gonna do this, which is going to, or you can use present continuous for future. We are flying to New York tomorrow. Or you can use present simple, and there are little differences. And these differences we are going to learn during my next lessons, but today let's focus on will, all right? So in the first case, when we use will and not going to and not anything else, it's when we are talking about the decision made at the moment of speaking. So, for example, let's imagine you are leaving your home and you say, oh, I've left the door open. I've left the door open. And then you make a decision. And this decision is made at the moment of speaking. So what do you think you can say? Can you type your answers in the chat box, please? So, oh, I've left the door open. So what can you say? But of course, we need to use future simple. Yeah, I see. I'll close it now. Great. Thank you. Yeah, you can say I'll close it or I'll go and shut it. So let's stick to this one. So I'll close it. I'll close it. I'll close it. So this is the first case, the decision that you make at the moment of speaking. I'll go back and close it. Yeah, great. Thank you, guys. So the next case when we can use future is when you are talking about the future and you probably make some predictions. Very common phrases are I think, I don't think, probably, or I'm sure. So that you just kind of make predictions about the future actions. So for example, let's go to Paris. I think we'll love it. I think we'll love it. Or you can say, probably he won't call me. He won't call me. Can you give me your predictions about your future? You can use I think, I don't think, or probably, I'm sure. Think about your near future, and you can type your examples in the chat box. So, I'm sure I'll master English at last. All right, so I hope that you'll do it really soon. And I wish you'll do this. All right, so the second case, let's recycle. This is you make some predictions about the future with some phrases as I think, I don't think, probably, or I'm sure. All right, so let's move on to the next point. We can use future simple when we offer to do something. So, for example, you look and we have here the phrase, the bag looks heavy. Maybe you see a person, maybe this is an elderly woman, and you say, the bag looks heavy, and you can offer your help. So what can you say to her? What do you guys think? So you can say, I'll carry it for you. I'll carry it for you. I'll carry it for you, or I'll help you. All right, so the next thing or point that when we can use future simple is promising to do something. So for promises. For example, you say to your friend, thanks for lending me the money. And then you promise something. So what can you promise in this case? What do you guys think? So thanks for lending me the money. I'll get it back to you as soon as I can, for example. I'll get it back to you as soon as I can. Right? So we have, I think we'll have COVID vaccine soon. Oh yeah, this is a great sentence. And I think that we all hope that it will happen. Thanks for this wonderful sentence. And I have one more case somewhere. Yeah, sure. So in the final case, when we can use future, it's for actions we can't control. So for example, now I'm 32. If I'm not mistaken, I always forget my age, sorry. And I cannot control it. So I'll be 33 on my next birthday. So this is what is I cannot control. So I'll be 33. Or it'll be 2 p.m. in a minute. It'll be 2 p.m. in a minute. Can you make your sentences for this situation, for this point? So use future for actions that you cannot control. Just go for it and type it in the chat box. also have a questions here about shall. Normally shall is used for questions like, for example, shall I help you, or shall we go out for dinner? But I think that this is the topic for a different video, and I will try to prepare something for this because I have no examples right now for you. All right. So guys, I think that this is all what I wanted to share with you today. And of course, I don't leave you without any homework. Today we're talking about 4 most common cases for using will and won't. In the first case, it's when you make a decision at the moment of speaking. The second case, it's when you think about the future, so you make some predictions, and very common phrases are I think, I don't think, I'm sure, or probably. Also, when you offer something and you promise to do something, I'll help you, I'll carry the bag for you. And the last case that we have looked at today is for actions that we cannot control. For example, I'll be 33 for my next birthday. So guys, what I'd like you to do is write down your own examples for each case. So we have 4 cases. It means you write 4 sentences or a little bit more. So make sure that you make up your own sentence for each case and write down these sentences in the comments. Also, while you are going to be writing, think about the pronunciation, so how you will say this in reality, and think about the contractions all, you'll, they'll, and won't. And of course, questions. I think this is the most interesting thing. And students, sometimes I barely can hear how my students make questions using contractions. So I think this is the point that you should pay attention to. All right, thank you very much, guys, for being with me today. If you haven't subscribed to this YouTube channel yet, again, just a reminder, make sure to hit the subscribe button and the bell icon so that you will get notified of all our upcoming lessons. You can also visit our website, losangeles.englishschool.com, and you can study with us from any point of the world. So feel completely free to reach out to us there and to ask any questions. And I'm also available there on that website if you want to ask something from me personally. All right, thank you guys again, and I wish you have a great day, and I hope to see you in my next lesson. Bye, everybody.